Hey everyone, so this is my Project Creative 4, and I'll jump right into it. So, the first question we're asked is what we learned about creativity and innovation from the artworks of Salvador Dali. And I actually thought this was really interesting because I actually got to go to the museum a couple weeks ago with my girlfriend. So, I got to see some of his paintings up close, and it was really interesting to see like the unique techniques he uses in his artwork. Um, One of my favorite ones that I saw was the Gala contemplating by the Mediterranean Sea, and this is one you guys have might have seen before. It looks like Abraham Lincoln crafted out a bunch of blocks from far away, but when you get closer, it's a lady looking out at the Mediterranean Sea. And I thought that was really unique. And a lot of the artworks that he has in that museum, in the St. Pete Museum, there's another one, I forget where it is, but uh, have that same technique where it's one thing up close and you pull back and it turns into something else. Something else in the museum that I thought was interesting was the lobster telephone, and I think the module this module also talked about surrealism, and I think the lobster telephone is a perfect example of that because there's an example in the module given by Sigmund Freud where he says that surrealism is something that feels familiar but also pretty distant or confusing, like combining two things that you're familiar with but in a unusual setting or way. And I think the lobster telephone, which is literally just a telephone with a lobster on top, is like a perfect example of that. Um, Next question is how we've connected entrepreneurship to innovation. And for this, I would say if you've innovated something, you are potentially already an entrepreneur because once you've innovated a product or service and you've brought it to people to provide that service or product to them, that already brings you into the world of entrepreneurship. So they do have a very close relationship. The next thing, the next thing we're asked is how we've learned about the innovation and creativeness in the St. Pete area. And I thought this was the most interesting part of this module because I had no idea about all the really cool things that have come out of this area. Personally, I'm in Sarasota and I've lived here my whole life, but St. Pete is very close, and I had no idea that we had things like Jimmy Wales and the story of Wikipedia being founded. That's insane to me. And I think his name is Tony Jannus, who did the first commercial flight from St. Pete to Tampa. So I had no idea that St. Pete had all these innovators. And going on to the next topic, I did some research and was trying to find two more innovators or inventions that came out of our school. I wanted to find some from, specifically USF. And the first one I found was Professor Yu Sun, and recently he has come up with a new fingertip scanner, and it's supposed to give a more accurate understanding of how we as humans grasp things and at what pressure we're grasping it as well. And apparently, this is supposed to help with the development of robots and make them be able to grab things better and in a more human-like fashion as well. But the next invention, which this is the more impactful one in my opinion, is Norma Alcantar, and she discovered a way to filtrate dirty water using nothing but cactus pads, just cactus leaves. And when you think about how crazy that is, for areas that are impoverished or in poverty or developing countries, that could make a huge impact. And it has made a huge impact, apparently, after doing some research. And she actually just recently got inducted into the Florida Inventors Hall of Fame, I think in November last year, the event was. But yeah, that discovering her invention, along with all the other inventions out of St. Pete, was just crazy to me. I had no idea. But I believe that ends my video here, and I think this is our last video for the class. So, I've enjoyed doing these videos with you guys. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing some of y'all. Thanks.